Show me all that I must do. Right here and right now, we're gathered in our sacred home, CLB Church. And for those on Zoom, in your secret home, your sacred home, we know that you're united together, always. We know that God is within and as us. We know that Spirit is with us at all times, and in His presence and in its presence. Take a deep breath and just know that. God is our light and we are God's light. The oneness that is God is within and surrounds each one of us at all times. I know that Spirit in this time is the love, the joy, the peace, the prosperity, the harmony, and the grace that each one of us possess and show within our light. I bless our media techs for the service flows with ease and comfort and effortlessly. For the music whose music for the I bless Neil for the message he is about to release. For he is our vessel through which God speaks to us. Knowing that what we need to say and hear is going to be right here and right now today. And that we can take that word and process it ourselves and bring it to the world outside. Knowing that God's presence is in this house, I let it be so, and so it is.
At Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe in spiritual living. Above all else, it is a philosophy that teaches us how to think and not what to think. We invite everyone to practice this philosophy by living in principle. We believe that God is all there is, and each person's relationship to God is a personal one. Every person, place, and thing, and all the space in between is not only an expression of God, but God itself. All love, peace, and beauty that is God exists within each person right now. Together we are all connected as one. Our faith allows us to apply this philosophy to our lives in every moment of every day. As we live in love, we see love revealed and flowing through the world around us. We act as citizens of this spiritual community at all times. This is how we think. We believe in God, we believe in ourselves, and we believe in you because we believe in spiritual living. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
All right, good morning again. Just because we are now broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube, I just want to introduce myself again. My name is Neil Hayner. I am a practitioner and ministerial student still. Seems like it goes on forever. So this year, the Center for Spiritual Living as an organization, we have a yearly theme, and our theme is Living Everyday Wonder. And this month, the theme is one of my favorites called The Inner Life. So I'm going to be with you this month here in February talking about this idea of our inner life. And what I want to talk to you today is, can I see God in me? Can I see God in me? And before I jump too much into that, I want to ask you a question and then tell you a story. So my question for you this morning is this. What are the most important relationships in your life? Just make a list in your head. What are the most important relationships in your life? And I want you to hold on to that, and we're going to come back to it. So here's the story. A good person makes his transition When he arrives at the gates of heaven, he knocks and knocks and knocks 3 times. And he hears the voice of God who asks him who he is. And he says, I am. To his answer, God says, I'm sorry, heaven is full. There is no room for you. Come back another time. The good man returns to earth and meditates for a long time on the answer he received until he feels ready to return to heaven. Again, he knocks on the gates of heaven 3 times, pound, pound, pound. And he hears the same voice of God asking him, who are you? And he answers, I am. And again, he receives the same answer. Heaven is full. There is no room for you. Come back another time. The good man returns and meditates even more deeply on the answer he's received until he feels ready to return to heaven for the 3rd time. When he arrives at the gates of heaven, he knocks 3 times, knock, knock, knock. And he hears the same voice of God saying, who are you? And this time he answers, you are. And the gates of heaven open wide, and God said to him, there was no room for me and someone else in heaven. Now we know that heaven is a state of mind. The kingdom of God is within. And there is no room for God and. There's no room for God and. We so often say, God is all there is. Have you heard that before? Why do we keep saying it? Because as often as we say it, it takes a lifetime of practice and deepening to fully realize that there's no room for God and. There's only one power, one presence, one principle that we call God that's living, moving, and having its being as everything in our universe, everything in experience, everything we see, everything we do not see, everything we know, and everything we don't know. It's all God. But it takes a lifetime of practice to be able to realize that every day, in every moment, in every situation, in every relationship, and in every conversation. I had a practitioner teacher once who gave me this quote, and as I was getting ready for this talk, I hadn't thought about it in forever, and it just popped into my mind, so of course you know what that means. She said, God realized is the success of my day. God realized is the success of my day. God realized is the success of my relationships. God realized is the success of my work in the world. God realized is my goal. Our job is to recognize, to become consciously aware of the divine's presence in everything. Is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes. Joel Goldsmith says that God is present only where it is realized. Not that God's not present everywhere, but if we're not realizing it, it does us no good. God is really, truly present where it is realized. My job is to realize God more and more every day. In every circumstance, the more we realize God, the more we see God in everything, as everything, the more our consciousness, the more our lives shift. It's not just something we can do on Sundays. Have you noticed that we're called the Center for Spiritual Living? Center for Spiritual Living. Not Center for Spiritual Reading. Not for Center for Spiritual Talking. Not for the Center for Spiritual Theorizing. Not even the Center for Spiritual Thinking. We are the Center for Spiritual Living. The point is to take these practices, take these ideas, take these principles into our lives and live them. Is it easy? No. That's where that 4-letter word practice comes in. There is this presence within us that is always been there. It will always be there. It is the presence of God in and through and as me. That is the place where we can build a relationship with the divine. We can build a relationship with life. We build a relationship with the universe. Each one of us is a spark of the divine presence. That place in us that is inexhaustible, incorruptible, and irrevocable. You have the divine spark in you that is living its life as you, that is inexhaustible. It's the source that never runs out because it is the source of life. It is incorruptible. Nothing that anybody has ever said or done to you in any way, shape, or form can change your divine nature. Thank goodness. And it is irrevocable. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, the color of the car that you drive, the job that you have, your sexuality, your skin color, your eye color, your amount of hair. It is irrevocable. That divine spark, that divine presence that you are can never be taken away. It can never be damaged. It can never be hurt. But it can be ignored. Our job is to go within, to practice the presence, to build that relationship with that divine spark that is within each one of us. We are not our body. This is simply the spiritual suit that I wear as I go about my human business. But like any suits, sometimes it carries labels. You know, I was thinking about this morning as I was, for those of you that don't know, I teach 4th grade. And for you classic folks, we don't have blackboards anymore, right? No more chalk dust. I don't miss it. We have whiteboards, right? And on this whiteboard, we use our expo markers, our whiteboard markers. And it gave me this visual of we are all these whiteboards walking around that people like to write on, right? Not good at math. Can't sing, can't dance. Mom, dad, teacher. We're all carrying around these giant whiteboards that people like to label us with. And they walk up to us and they say, "Oh, I know you." And they put their label on us. But the truth is, just like that chalkboard or just like that whiteboard, those labels aren't permanent. They have no reality. They have no substance other of their own. They wipe away. There's no permanence there. You know what's permanent? The white, pure whiteboard. That's who you are. That nature that you are is infinite potential. Just like that whiteboard, that chalkboard. That is who you are. Who am I when all those labels are wiped away? That is your divine nature. That is your divine essence. So our talk title today was, Can I See God in Me? Can you see that part of you that is incorruptible, inexhaustible, irrevocable? It never runs out. It can't be damaged, and it can never be taken away. So at the beginning of this talk, I asked you to list in your head your most important relationships. So let's come back to that. Did you list yourself? If you didn't, that might be something to look at. Did you list God? We come to here, to the Center for Spiritual Living. It is the Center for Spiritual Living. To me, that means my inner life, my relationship with the divine, my spiritual life is the primary relationship in my life. Because the good news is, and the bad news is, that all your other relationships are going to change. The only thing that you carry with you from the beginning of your life to the moment of your transition is within you. That is the relationship that's never going to change, never going to go away, never going to be hurt or harmed. That is, can be your primary relationship. Where do I go first when I'm having a bad day? Yes, my friends. Yes, my family. Yes, my partnerships. Yes, my spouse. But do I go within? That's a relationship worth building. My relationship with myself is my relationship with God. When I ignore my needs, I'm ignoring God. When I ignore that still small voice, I'm ignoring God. As you heard in our Words of the Wiser talk this morning, my relationship with myself is a reflection of my relationship with God. That relationship is my source. It is the source of all of my talent. It is the source of all of my energy. It is the limitless source of all my abundance and wisdom. And I can turn to it at any moment. It is that one relationship that is always available. In her meditation this morning, Evonne was talking about the inner GPS, your God positioning system, going within for direction. When I first started attending the Center for Spiritual Living, I was in this phase where I liked coming up with t-shirts. It was a fun, creative endeavor. So one of my projects, and I think my project, actually now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was my project for the foundations class. I designed a t-shirt that says, "I get what I need from the ATM. Affirmation, treatment, and meditation." Right? I get what I need from the ATM. I get what I need from that infinite source within me that is limitless. And if I truly believe that God is all there is, can I stand in front of the mirror and see God reflected back to me? Or do I see God and? Yeah, I see God. But I also see hurt and pain and judgment about what I look like or what people have said about me. The truth is, there's not room for God and in that mirror. It's just God. So I challenge you this week as you go home to practice standing in front of the mirror and seeing only God, not God and. You are here because you fill a purpose in this universe. There are things that you do, the way that you interact with life, that only you can do. You are the infinite life expressing infinitely. You are here to serve a divine purpose, to show up in divine ways that only you can do. Remember that list of relationships that we made? Only you can fill that place in those relationships. Like a puzzle piece, you fit right into those relationships. You are here because you are the divine made manifest, and the universe so needed you that it created you. because you serve as a conduit for the divine. You serve as a clear and transparent vessel for all that good. Because if God is all that there is something that is irrevocable, inexhaustible, and incorruptible, that you are. Ernest Holmes says this in The Science of Mind. In moments of real inspiration, we understand, at least to some degree, that God is all. That which has within itself is all that really is. The life in everything, and the love through everything. Can you see the God in you? If God is all there is, I am that. And Ernest Holmes says that we undervalue our opinion of ourselves. This comes from his book, A New Design for Living. It's a little bit of a longer quote, but I loved it, so I wanted to share it. For the most part, we have too low an opinion of ourselves. We need to place a new evaluation on ourselves. Not an evaluation which is blown up with conceit, but one that contains a sense of wonder, humility, and awe. When you look in the mirror, do you see wonder, humility, and awe? We need to develop a deep sense of reverence for the life that flows in and through us and all things. For without it, there would be nothing. We should have respect for ourselves, confidence in ourselves, and an assurance that all is right with us in the world. We but need to let it be that way. For it is God's world, the creation of the one intelligence, and as such, it can never be in conflict with itself. With an increasing awareness of the fact that our mind is some part of the infinite intelligence, we suddenly discover that we are more important than we thought. We suddenly discover that we are more important than we thought. You are here for a divine purpose. Your divine spark adds to a divine fire that is burning, and without you, it would be diminished. Third part. If God is all there is, and I am that, all that God is, then what I project out into the world matters. So, where are you falling short of the glory of God, for you Bible friends out there? Where am I not being true to my authentic self? As God, my words matter, my actions matter, my contributions matter. Where I choose to place my faith and where I choose to place my energy matters. In our daily life, we are constantly projecting out to our world that which is within us. So if you see it in your world, it started with you first. Our relationships, those relationships that we listed, are the mirrors that reflect back to us. If we love and respect and treat ourselves well, love and respect and good treatment from others will come back to us. Do we deserve it? Yes. Because you, my friends, are the divine made manifest. So next time you go home and look in the mirror to style your hair, for those of you that have some, I want you to look in that mirror and say, can I see God looking back at me? And only God. And so it is. So I'm going to invite our practitioners to stand and join me in consciousness this morning as we enter into the atmosphere of prayer, the atmosphere of the divine. We once again recognize that there is only one life. That life is God. That life is principle. That life is creative power, wisdom, grace, intelligence, beauty, wisdom. It is all that there is. It is all there ever can be. There is only one power. There is only one principle. There is only one presence, living, moving, and having its being as every part of creation. And as part of God's creation, I know that that power is living in, through, and as me right now, right here, in every way. And I know that is true for and about you. And I know that is true for everybody within the sound of my voice right now. You are the divine spark that is incorruptible, that is unchanging, that can never be hurt or never taken away. That is who and what you are. And so I stand in my own divinity, declaring your divinity, knowing and recognizing that the God in me recognizes and celebrates the God as you. I see the God in you. And it is beautiful, it is whole, it is complete, it is perfect. It is all that it needs to be. And I know that it is expanding and filling this room with its consciousness. It's a consciousness of joy, a consciousness of peace. And I simply say yes. And so from this place of divine unity, I speak my word this morning, knowing that wherever there is a perception of lack or limitation, I know it is now dissolved. Wherever there is a perception of illness, it is now dissolved into wellness, wholeness, completeness. Wherever there is a perception of lack or need, I know that that infinite source that is abundance is springing forth, flowing from an infinite source, filling up the cup and spilling over. And I know that wherever there might be a sense of hurt, a sense of pain or loss, I know that the divine presence that is God is right there, moving in, through, and as you, walking beside you as that divine presence. And so knowing that that is true, and simply deep gratitude, I'm so thankful for this knowing, for these principles, for this place, for these people that sit in the stillness and declare their own divinity, that bring that joy, that bring that wisdom, that bring that intelligence into the world through their perfect right actions. And I simply release this word into the law, knowing that it is complete, and it reflects back to me everything that it needs to be. We plant that seed into the soil, knowing with full confidence that we don't need to work to make it grow. It simply is. The law is operating upon it. And so I can know with full confidence that which I plant will grow and is growing right here and right now. So in great gratitude, I simply declare it is good, it is complete. And in great joy and surrender, I simply say, and so it is. And so I invite you to stand and place your hand over your heart with me this morning as we close. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I'm going to change that. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all my affairs. I accept it. I embrace it for all that it is and for all that it is becoming. All is well. Thank you, life. Namaste.
One more announcement from Kay, who is starting a wonderful process called Soul Collage, and it's going to be at her house. It's going to be a love offering, and she's sharing that with the center. And anyway, so she wants you to be aware that there are flyers back there. So if you're going out that way, please pick one up. It is going to be on the last Thursday of February 24th, at her house at 10 o'clock. She lives in Sunlight, so see, hey, right there.
And so it is.
Thank you for joining us for our Sunday service. Please remember to like, comment, and share this video on Facebook, YouTube, and any other social media you are a member of. To donate to CSL Beaumont, you can text GIVE to 951-420-6909, or you can visit our website at cslbeaumont.org and click the donate button at the top or bottom of the page. You can also mail your donation to CSL Beaumont, 802 Maple Avenue, Beaumont, California, 92223. Have a blessed day, and namaste.